Good morning. My name is Brian. I work at Labtech Diagnostics, and I'll be showing you how to use the Labtech Diagnostics um, Lifepoints. This will be how you enter tests in, check tests, and it's just our all-around portal for our lab tests. The easiest way that you'll be able to get through this is to pull up Labtech Diagnostics, and it doesn't matter which browser that you use. Um, and all this stuff should be covered in a welcome packet that you should be getting if you haven't gotten it already. And that's also got all the credentials on it that you'll need to sign into each. Um, from here, once you get to the website, you just go to the Physicians tab and drop down into this electronic ordering. This will automatically open up uh, LabTech Diagnostics LifePoints. Um, from here, you'll enter the credentials that you've gotten on your welcome packet. And notice it does take three. The account number will specifically be a number. Username will be something that looks sort of like the clinic that you're working at, and the password it will be listed also. From here, I'm going to drag another screen over because I've already got signed in to a client that we use that hasn't opened up his, and it'll allow us to enter a test patient real quick. Once you get this up, it'll always start in your inbox. This will show you the last 10 days worth of reports that you've gotten in, results. From here, as you can see, it's not showing anything. If and when y'all start, what you'll have to do is select new patient. And I tell everybody, always do the select new patient first because all it is a search, and it will allow you to know if you already have a patient added to the database that comes with this. Now, if you hit select new patient, excuse me, it will come up here, and it all you have to do is look. I always tell everybody just to look up the last names because it's easier and a little bit faster. Uh, but from here, you can see that there's nobody with the last name Jones here. This is because this is a brand new account, so it's not going to have anything. But it's always a good practice to start with the select new patient. The select new patient could show you three different things. One, exactly like we're looking at now, there's no active patient selected. There's nobody in that database matching the search criteria that we put in. So this would mean that you would have to go to add a patient. You'll have to add that patient in. Um, the second thing you might see, if the search criteria you put only matches one person, you will see that person's name up here at the very top, and that means that anything that you do after this point will be for that patient, unless you do another search patient and put something else in. If it's the wrong patient that's up here, you will have to add patient. And the third thing that you might see is a whole list of patients, especially with real common last names. And from there, you will just find the one patient that you're looking for, click on their PID number, which you'll hear me call an LT number. Um, and at that point, it will pop up here to the um, this gray area, which means it's an active patient. From there, all you have to do is go to order test, order your test, and you're done. Okay, for this one, we're going to go through all the steps. So we'll add the patient first. Anything with the stars next to it, you have to put through. If your clinic has other requirements like an MRN number, you'll have to add that too, but it's not something that LabTech does not require. This is the PID number. It will automatically generate anytime that you add a new patient. And from there, um, you can see why I call it an LT number. Almost all of ours start with LT. So it's just after working for here this long, it's just an LT number for me. For this, we're just going to put in a test patient, and I will go through. Hold on just a second. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, from here, We'll just enter all this information in. And you can tell it doesn't take very long to add this in. And I'm tabbing through, so it's a little bit quicker for me. Be real careful on the address because you can put anything that you want in there and it will accept it. Um, Whoops. And if you make a mistake, you will have a chance to go back and fix anything that you need to as we go through. And from here, once you get done, you'll notice that you've got several sets of buttons. These do exactly the same thing, just however that you want to. And you see that we've missed a spot, so it's going back and telling us that we need to add something in. Hit next. Now this is what I call the dummy screen. It's just a check screen to make sure everything's correct that we require. If you find something wrong, you can always go back here to patient info and re-enter. From here, we'll just hit next again. This will go into your insurance information. If you're going to place the insurance information here for the patient, it'll always start off as nothing here. You'll click on the change button. Now these are formulated for here in the southern area, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina. We can change these out as needed for the different clinics, and it's individual per clinic. Um, if you don't see which one you need and you haven't gotten it changed yet, all you have to do is go down here to the search bar and say I was looking for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia. It will list exactly the one that I need. The closer you get to the name, the actual name of the insurance company, the shorter the list will be. For example, if I was to do a new search and just hit Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's going to give me 5 pages worth of uh, examples that you can use to click on. I'm just going to click on one for the time being. The policy number is the only thing that we require. Um, if once you put the group number in and keep scrolling down, it will auto generate with the stuff that we've put in before. I'm not going to go into show y'all that because I've just got a um, fake policy number in here. So we'll go to the next. And once it generates, there it goes. It's just going to show you the information. We're going to update this. Notice it's gone from next to update. Once you hit the update button, this will put you into the, or soon to put you into the order test. You can see it, it popped up right here. And the highlight came up to here to the order test. Just make sure this is right. This is what I was calling the active patient a little while ago. Any testing that you do will be for the patient that's shown up here. So just know that. From here, we can go to the next, or we can click on the diagnosis. Click on next. This will give you all the diagnoses. They're list the most common ones are listed right here. You have a search bar here where you can actually look for specific diagnosis, and if you know the diagnosis code, you can add the codes here, and they will look like numbers like this. Um, and you can add as many of those into that block as you want. Just make sure that you separate each one of them with a comma. That just separates them. From here, I'm just going to click on a few and hit next. From here, this goes to the actual order tests page. Um, you can notice on all the testing that they've got listed here, and these are the most commons. Each one has a blue eye next to it. That eye, if you click on it, will give you a small screen that shows you about the test. The tests are shown here. If it's a profile or a panel, it will show you all the different tests that it does. It'll tell you which containers that they need. So it gives you a good example of everything that you're going to need for that test. Up at the top on the left hand side, we have the testing. You can put a search bar. In here, you can actually search, and it works the same way as the insurance did. The closer you get to the actual panel or test name, the shorter the list it'll give you for the choices. And if you know the test code number, you can add those here just like you could do with the diagnosis. Just make sure you put a comma between each one if you've got multiple ones in. I am going to add 120 in because that'll show y'all something here next. From here, I'm just going to pick a couple. Also, you might see that a CP instead of this blue dot, that is a custom panel that we have done for your clinic, that either has been asked for by the practitioners there or that we've added because a lot of people use those panels. Um, those are just a group of different tests that we've added, and you'll be able to pick those, and it will not show you the I4. Um, but we've got a few picked. Oh, let's do the SARS because a lot of people that are coming on now are doing these tests. Once you've got all your tests done, you just click to the next again. Excuse me. Allergies are kicking up this morning. Um, from here, this is the review. This is the last page that you'll have to do. Um, the selected diagnostics are right here, and however many you've listed will be all listed here. You can still remove them, or you can add more to it. If you hit the add codes or add tests, it will actually jump you back to that page that you were on earlier to add more tests to it. And then remove, it'll just take it away. The blue eyes here, same as what we just discussed on the last page. Now, if you've noticed, this is for drug monitoring, has a red answers question button on it. This has to be clicked on. Now, this is for drug monitoring. So, what this will be asking is what medications that the patient is on currently. You would mark these, or if they're on none, it's here, or if the physician in charge doesn't want to put that sort of thing in, you can always press none. And we have seen that, so not a big deal. Hit apply. This will turn blue. That means it's good and you can carry on. Also, based on the insurance information, you might see LC or NC listed on some of these. That is showing that there's either showing limited coverage or no coverage through insurance. If you happen to see those, you might want to take that back to your physician or doctor, whoever's had the test made, and get some more diagnostic codes in there to be able to cover that. Now down towards the bottom, there's only two places that you have to mark. Now this will be your requesting physician will be listed here. This is just one that was blank, so I'm using it. Um, but you've got a star here and a star here for bill to. Please fill in this information as needed. Make sure that the collection date and the collection time are current. And the bill to, if you click on it, it'll drop down. Insurance is that we're going to bill the patient's insurance. Client bills or that you as the clinic will be charging the patient, and then we will send you the bill for the testing. And then the patient is that we go straight to the patient for payment. For this one, since we've marked insurance, we'll click on that. Phlebotomist, if your clinic has several phlebotomists or several different people drawing blood, if you will send us a list, I can put a drop down here for you guys, so the person that's drawing the blood can mark themselves as the one that did it. If you need anything, if you need the laboratory to know anything about the testing or any specifics, you can place that in the comments. It will get here first to them before the blood does typically. And down at the very bottom, it shows the tubes that you're going to need. One important thing to point out with this, if you have listed, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure what that was. If you have listed, say, 15 tests that all require an SST tube, it's going to tell you down here that you need 15 SST tubes. It's just adding those up and putting the sum at the bottom. We typically can do 8 to 10 tests per SST tube, so you can pretty much take just max it up into that point. If you need help on how many tubes that you need for specific pods of tests, please give us a call and we'll get one of the lab people to figure out exactly how many and send it to you. Um, and that's basically all that we have to do. Um, the order button, once you get finished, all you have to do is click the order button. You will see this pop up. As long as um, you have a PDF reader up, and I'm not sure why it just popped up too. But this something like this should pop up. You can come through here and print it. I'm not going to print it because I don't want to send it to the printer. Um, this will print off. Most clinics will print off two. One that'll will go with the information or with the tubes, and then one will be held there at your clinic so that you can have a record of it. And that's basically it. All we require on the tubes is last name, first name, and date of birth. If y'all are going to be using a label printer to print these off, we can do that. There are some requirements for that and some software that we have to add or that you can add to it. And if you give me a call, I can actually help you with that. And if they like these videos, I'll try to print one off to make it a little bit easier. But the only way the label printers that we send out will work is if your browser is on Internet Explorer, uh, and then that's just because the driver's there. Uh, but that's it for the overview of LifePoints, and thank you very much. Have a nice day.